Hey, my friends, this is Stephanie Ritter-Mott. I'm the president of Courageous Living. I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I really want to share something with you that's been on my heart. I really believe it's a good word for you, and it's called no expectations. You know, I never realized how easy it is to put expectations on goals and visions and just life in general. And so I've been taking the Mel Robbins Mindset Reset. I've been sharing about that lately. It was a 30-day class. It was free. There's all kinds of videos on her YouTube channel. I really encourage you to go out there and look at the videos. One of the things that really stuck out to me in the videos was on the limited belief thinking. That we have this default mechanism that we go to, and it's our limited beliefs. I was putting expectations on myself that were unreasonable, they were unhealthy, and I didn't realize how they were creeping into my life and have been for a long time. So with the Mindset Reset, when the limited belief thinking kicks in, remember she talked about the brain and how it's a filter system. So we have all these things that are feeding that, negative, positive, our own expectations, things that are brought to us over the years that we don't realize that are not really helping us, but they're hurting us. This was like an aha moment for me when I realized I had expectations. And how I came about knowing that was I talked to my own life coach, and I was sharing with her some things that I felt like I should be further down the road at the age that I'm at. I felt like I should be accomplishing more professionally than where I thought I'm at. And so she said to me, Stephanie, you're frustrated, you're discouraged with yourself because you've got expectations. You've got to get rid of your expectations. And I really didn't even understand what she was talking about because I think I've tried to put so many positive things into me that I didn't realize that there was still this little layer or a thread of expectations that were unhealthy that were still in my mindset. So when you think about limited belief thinking, just to kind of make it simple for you, is like if you deal with rejection a lot or maybe even abandonment, maybe you've had people that have left you over life and you've got this filter system now that people are going to leave you, or if they say certain things or a certain tone, that's a setup for someone leaving you. Well, when you are looking for a car, usually what happens is we narrow it down to one or two cars and we know everything about it. We love it. This is the car. And what happens is we've now been so trained at knowing about the car, recognizing the car, that we will spot that car coming down the highway alongside of us. We can be driving through a parking lot and we'll see it in 3 different places because you have trained your brain now about the car. That's how powerful your brain is. And so when you have negative thoughts or a negative or a limited belief system, the brain will pick up on those things on day-to-day conversations, the weather, the news reports, people at work, what they say. You'll start filtering it through rejection or negativity, and that's how you'll receive it because that's how you've taught yourself. So that's just how powerful it can just be in our lives and how it can be through different circumstances. It's not like you're trying to do it deliberately. Sometimes it's just an automatic mechanism, a default mechanism that Mel Robbins talks about. So that's my commercial for Mel Robbins, mindsetreset.com. Go to her YouTube channel. All the videos are there. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. So we're going to talk about no expectations. One of the things I had to learn was thinking this and not that. So as I discovered that I had these expectations and that's what was frustrating me, I was frustrated with myself, I was frustrated with the circumstances, I was frustrated that things were not turning out the way I had thought they should. Well, once I recognize that, I can now replace that with, no, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am the right age to accomplish this goal. I am using my gifts and my talents, and they are going to open up doors for me that no man can shut. And so I had to start flipping those expectation thoughts with something that's positive. Just shows you're never too old to learn. So anyway, when I was talking to my life coach, she spoke to me and just said, you got to get rid of those expectations. And that started me on this journey that I want to share with you because I found it so liberating and so exciting that, wow, I love to learn and I love to grow. And now I have a whole other area that I can grow and hopefully pass this on to my children that they won't have to go down this path. There was an actor that I read a story on, an interview with him, and he was saying this. He said, I certainly have goals. I have certainly met and exceeded those goals, but I have no expectations. I try not to limit myself with any expectations. And I remember reading that thinking, I don't know what that means. But now I'm getting it. To be that liberated, to say, I don't have any expectations. I might have goals and I'm accomplishing things, but I don't have expectations. So expectations is something that's in the future. It's like if you had a crystal ball and you could predict the future, your expectations then would be right on. But we don't have a crystal ball. And expectations are in the future, so if you can't predict the future, you're setting yourself up. When you have expectations and you're projecting some of the future that you don't know anything about, you're going to get frustrated if you're not meeting those goals. You're going to be frustrated if that timeline isn't happening the way you thought. You're going to get frustrated in relationships because they're not acting the way you thought they should act, or the marriage isn't turning out the way you thought it was going to turn out, or my kids are not turning out the way they should turn out. That's expectations. We have to get rid of them. You have to be aware of your thought process, and you have to be aware of what's going on, the dialogue that's going on inside of you. Because when you listen to that, or if you hire a coach or even a counselor, they can pick up on that and go, wait a second, do you hear what you're saying? It's like a tape player, loop to loop. It just keeps going over and over and over and over again because we believe what we think and we believe what we say about ourselves. When you get rid of expectations, the stress comes off. Because now you're not worrying about something that you have no control over. You're not worrying about something that you don't even know how it's going to turn out. You enjoy the moment. The wonderful thing about getting rid of expectations is you're present. You're in the moment. You're not worrying about what's out there that you don't know. Now you can enjoy everything that's going on around you. You can be aware of what's going on around you. You can make better choices, clearer choices. You can enjoy the people around you because you don't have expectations on them. Sylvia Plath says, if you don't have expectations on people, you won't be disappointed. So get rid of expectations, not only in your relationships, marriage, friendships, work. Get rid of them because you won't be disappointed because there's no expectations there. You will have less stress. You'll have much, much less stress in your life, and you'll sleep better. You'll have more peace about you. You'll probably have more joy about you. You'll probably even be pleasant to be around. One of the things that I heard was Oprah. She shared in one of her Super Soul Sunday segments, and it was on expectations. And she was speaking to an author that was sharing about how parents sometimes will put expectations on their kids, and it's controlling. You know, when you put expectations on people, you're controlling them. So she has a school for girls where they can come in and they come out of these environments that are, you know, the parents have died of AIDS or the parents have died at a young age or there's poverty. And she brings them into the school and she trains them, she mentors them, she educates them. It's very, very well known. It's been going on for a number of years. But she shared that there was a young girl that was there who was really just struggling. She just wasn't happy there. And Oprah kept saying to her, you know, this is the right place for you. She talked her into coming to the school. She thought it'd be the best environment for her. But in the long run, the girl was not happy. And that's when Oprah said, I realized I put expectations on her. I put those on her. And now I put her in a place where she's not happy. Maybe the environment she came from wasn't that great, but I just put all this stress on her and expectations that maybe she can't meet them. I don't know the whole story. But Oprah had tears in her eyes because she felt horrible that she put this girl in that place based on expectations. And that's what we do to us. We put those expectations on us. And we wonder why we're frustrated because maybe that's not the path that we should be on. Maybe our gifts and talents are supposed to be used in a different way and we're forced them to go this way and we're frustrated with ourselves. One of the key words you need to listen to when you hear yourself being frustrated or discouraged is a word called should. If you're saying things like I was, and sometimes I still do, I still catch myself. I should be here, I should be doing this, I should be furthering my career, my family should be in a better place, my kids should be better, my marriage should be better, my friends should be better. That word should is a red flag that you have got expectations in place and they need to go. When we start saying should, you need to get rid of the expectations. Think about what you're saying. When you feel discouraged and frustrated, ask yourself. I tell my kids this all the time. Well, ask yourself why you feel frustrated. Why do you feel discouraged? Sometimes it's just an event that happens in the day. But if it's a continual pattern, maybe there's expectations there that you need to get rid of. Maybe if you're that unhappy in your job, maybe there's expectations that don't need to be there. Another thing that comes out of expectations, we compare ourselves. We start to compare ourselves to other people. So I might look up to an Oprah. I look up to her career. I look up to her wisdom and her tenacity. But her path is different than my path. What if I was to be down something similar to what she does, doing interviews or whatever, but my path to get there isn't like hers? So if I compare myself to her, I'm putting an expectation on myself that I can't meet. I can't compete with that. I have to go my path. So when people say things like, well, if I can do it, you can do it. I kind of cringe when people say that, but I get why they say it, because they're trying to encourage us and say, hey, I'll help you, I'll pull you out, or I'll walk alongside of you. And it's empowering, but at the same time, it puts us in a position that we can have unrealistic expectations. We think our path is their path, and it's not. Their gifts and talents are their gifts and talents. If all of our fingerprints are different, there's a reason why my fingerprints don't match your fingerprints. We're all different, and we're all unique. And so when you compare yourself, you actually are putting expectations in place, and you're going to get frustrated and get discouraged. The last thing I want to share with you on expectations is goals. So when it comes to goals, there's two different kinds you should think about: process goals and outcome goals. Both are good, but you have to keep them in balance, especially the outcome goals. A lot of us have outcome goals, right? I want to accomplish this, 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 and this. In 3 months, I want to write a book. Well, a lot can happen in 3 months. You might lose your job, you might get sick, you might have to take some time off, you might have to pull back from that goal to accomplish something else. And so a process goal, let's say your outcome goal is, I want to write a book in 3 months. Your process goal says, I'm going to write for 1 to 3 hours every single day, because it's going to move me towards that goal. Okay? And so a process goal really takes the pressure off of you, because now you've got some steps in place. It's like I teach my children when they're studying for exams. I say, we've all done it, but don't cram the night before, right? You got 5 classes, each were 10 weeks long. There's no way you can cram all that in one night. So I'm trying to teach them, especially my youngest, my son, is to back into the schedule of the exam, right? You look ahead and go, okay, I can study this night for this and this night for this, and you back into the actual exam schedule. That's a process goal, okay? It's a process goal. And so that is another way to keep expectations off, is put some processes in place that guide you to where you want to go. Because that way when things happen, life happens, you're not thrown off. But you're like, okay, readjust the process goal. Maybe it's not going to be writing 1 to 2 hours a day. Maybe it's only 1 hour a day, because life has changed a little bit for me. The last thing I want to share, that's something from Mel Robbins. And she talks about, when I shared in my last video about having a word for the year, she also talks about having a word for your life, something that can anchor yourself. So when life happens and things start happening to you, you have a word that you can come back to, and everything lines up with that word. Like my word for this year is intentional. But I can be honest with you, that's going to be my word for a long time, because it keeps me grounded. It keeps me focused. I don't procrastinate as much because I'm intentional about the things that I want to accomplish. I'm intentional about the day and what I want to accomplish during that day. And so that's another way you can keep expectations off, is have a word so it keeps you grounded. So you're not going down all these bunny trails, but you're staying focused. So my friends, I hope this word encouraged you. I hope that you will be able to get the expectations off of you so that you can live with liberty and freedom, that you can accomplish the goals that you have in your life without beating yourself up on the path, that you can allow your gifts and your talents to go through you and have doors open up that no man can shut, because it's your time, it's your door, it's your day. So my friends, stay curious. Continue to live a courageous life, and just know that you are very, very special, and there is a place for you here today on this earth. There's a place for you and your gifts and your talents, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, and God bless.